Good morning, Saitlanders. How are you? We hope that you're well. I wanted to show you a video on the television, or a little bit of it, but the signal is so poor in Van der Kloof at the moment that I can't pick it up properly. It takes too long to load. So we'll talk about something else. I'm on solar power. Pride cometh before a fall. So far be it from me to brag, but I would like to acknowledge those people who helped us with this problem of the power in Van der Kloof. Some of you may be aware of the story. Over the past few years, it turns out, the municipality has been stealing the money that we have been paying for electricity, and it runs into the hundreds of millions. Now, some people will say to you, no, that's not true. As somebody said to me, it's actually not that bad. In fact, it's just about 40-something million. That's incorrect. It's categorically incorrect. Firstly, it's well understood. We're going to get to the electricity again in a moment, but let me sketch the background, or the ancillary parts to this story, because it makes the core, the electricity money theft, so much worse. It turns out that the budgeted funds for the chlorine, for instance, for our drinking water, have also somehow disappeared, and they're not even putting the full amount of chlorine in the drinking water. Likewise, the budgeted funds for the diesel, for the generators, for the pumps, to send when the electricity is off, to send the sewage back through the sewerage system to the sewerage farm at the back here, have also kind of done a duck, as my dad would say. And the unemployment insurance fund, skills development levy, and workmen's compensation funds monies are nowhere to be found either, and they haven't been paid over. Likewise, the pensions, the pension fund contributions deducted from the employees, the municipal employees' salaries, have not been paid over to the pension fund. So they've been deducted but not paid over since September 2017. So all told, there's a lot more to the story than merely the 43 or whatever it is, 43, 46 million rand that Eskom says it hasn't been paid by our municipality. On top of which, Eskom is looking for its money at the rate that it charges. But that's not the rate that our municipality charges us. Our municipality charges us almost double, and none of that money is to be found. So for starters, the money missing, as opposed to the money that Eskom hasn't received, runs to close to 100 million rand. Before we even talk about skills development levy, chlorine, petty cash, what do you call this, pension fund contributions, and so on. So some time ago, an American contacted me and he said, the guy I know well, he's been out to South Africa, spent time with Mr. Miller, hunted with us, the whole story. and he's not a wealthy guy, he's a truck driver. And he said to me, why haven't you been producing very many videos lately? And I said to him, you know, it's a pain in the neck. I try to when I can, but we don't have electricity half the time, or on some days more than half of the time, just about 2/3 of the time, no electricity. And you know, it becomes difficult, it becomes awkward. Sometimes we only have electricity from 11 at night until 7 in the morning. And really, am I going to produce videos at that hour of the day, you know, kind of half asleep, brain all foggy? It's not likely. So all in all, there's a coalescence of factors that is making it difficult for me, but I'm doing what I can. He said to me, why don't you go solar? I said, it costs money. He said that he would make a donation. So of about $1,000. So I duly informed Mr. Miller of this, and of course $1,000, it came to about 18 grand South African, is not enough to do much with. But somebody who wishes to remain anonymous then gave me a very good deal on some solar components, and then Mr. Miller donated me from his own, from his household, from his house, from his family's solar setup, a number of batteries, and then Johan van der Poel and Jurek Drent said that they would install the stuff for me. So we're now on solar, thank God. Thank the Lord. It's wonderful to sit here. It's terrible to say. And I'm fearful about this kind of thing, you know. Pride cometh before a fall. But it is wonderful to sit here knowing that half of Van der Kloof, the Boerdorp, as per the schedule, doesn't have any electricity because Eskom has held us responsible, not for the monies we didn't pay, but for the monies that we did indeed pay to their client, and which Eskom permitted their client not to pay over years. This is the thing. Eskom allowed them to get away with it. And you know why? Because this type of thing always reaches further than you can see. Always. There has to be an explanation. It cannot be magical. It cannot be. Disabuse yourselves of the thought that the municipality just didn't pay, and they got away with it without the aid and the abet of an insider in Eskom. It doesn't work that way. So it's, yeah, as I say, wonderful to sit here. My part of the village doesn't have power, and I saw on the Van der Kloof load shedding group a little bit earlier on that they've also shut off the other part of the town. So nobody in the town has electricity apart from the few of us who are blessed, and it is a blessing, blessed by our Lord through our friends, through our colleagues, through our sympathizers, through our like-minded people, through our fellows, our fellow Saitlanders, our fellow white South Africans, who are blessed to have this great privilege. It's lekker. It's fantastic. And long may it continue. So I wish to thank again Jurek and Johan, the guy who wishes to remain anonymous, my friend in the USA, Nicholas Rocker, formerly of Cadillac, Michigan, or near, not really Cadillac, Michigan. I know Nick, but it's the best reference point that Andre and I could ever give. Cadillac, Michigan, formerly of Cadillac, Michigan, excuse me, and Mr. Miller. Thank you very, very much, Mr. Miller, for the sacrifice that you were willing to make, that your family is making, so that we, not just me, Cornelia too, can work whenever we have to work and do videos whenever we have to do them. On Saturday, I was meant to do an interview with Blood River Radio in the USA, which is named for the South African Battle of Blood River on the Ngome River on the 16th of December 1838, in which people give different figures, but I'm absolutely positive that the best figures can be found in The Day of the Dead Moon by David Rattray. Some of you may know of David Rattray. He was very involved in community stuff, uplifting the local Zulus near his family's farms. He was murdered a few years ago by the locals at his home. His book, The Day of the Dead Moon, as far as I'm concerned, is the best. I've not read the book, but I have listened to the audio book many times. It's about, I think, 9 hours long, if I remember correctly, and I should think I've listened to it about 7 times. Brilliant. And he says definitively it was 464 Boers, 64 vegwaantjies, and he gives the lie to the numbers of Zulus involved too. What academia and modern revisionist historians tell us is, according to him, absolute rubbish. The numbers of Zulus involved and the number of Zulus who lost their lives, who were killed that day, are far greater than you will find in most latter-day publications. Anyway, so that's the story about the 16th of December. It's the story of being able to come to you today. It's the story of being very fortunate, very blessed. It's the story of how strange things or peculiar things connect to one another over tremendous periods of time and long distances. I thank again everybody who was good enough to help, and may we bring our part, now that we have this facility to work, even when they rob us blind and rob us of the ability to live according to the standards devised, set, and built by our forefathers. Thank you very much for listening to this video. Have a wonderful day, and we'll speak again soon. Bye bye.